Grammy nominations are out, and here to break down the biggest headlines is Entertainment Weekly senior editor music, Alex Suskind. Did I say that right, Alex?
Suskind, but you were close. So
awesome. No, I just wanted to make sure I got it right. All right,
hey guys, thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, so first we're going to talk about Taylor Swift. You know, a lot of fans were upset. They feel like she got snubbed this year. Why do you think she only has one nomination?
Well, it's a good question. I'm not really sure I have the answer to it. Reputation was basically the biggest album of 2018. Although it did come out at the end of 2017, it ended up missing the eligibility period for last year's Grammys. So it was eligible for this year. I think fans and just generally the music industry were expecting her to have a big hit at the Grammys this year. You know, she's kind of considered a Grammys darling. She was the youngest artist to win Album of the Year with Fearless back in 2010. You know, she won with 1989 a couple of years ago in 2016. She also already has just in general 3 nods for Album of the Year. So yeah, she's been a mainstay at the Grammys. So I think everyone was kind of expecting Reputation to really be a big play at the ceremony this year, but she is only coming away with one nomination, and that is in Best Pop Vocal Album.
Yeah, we're so used to hearing her name in Grammy as synonymous. One of the names that we're not used to hearing synonymous with Grammys is Mac Miller. Right. He got his first nomination posthumously. Do you feel like this is the biggest moment in his career, and can he win this?
Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the biggest moment in his career. You know, it's certainly a culmination of all the work that he had put in over the last decade. Mac Miller has had a tremendous fan base over the years, and as an artist, he really grew from his time as sort of this kind of frat rapper from Pittsburgh up into this kind of artist who's basically been able to pull in elements of funk and jazz and hip hop into this really excellent album, Swimming. It is his first nomination, and the Grammys are no stranger to nominating folks posthumously. David Bowie, most recently, back in 2017, won all 4 of his awards right after his death for his last album, Black Star. Can Mac Miller win? I don't know. You know, he's got some fierce competition, but, you know, people love Mac Miller in the music industry and not just within the rap world. So I really do think there's a lot of ground support for him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him come away with a win that night.
Agree. And just to be clear, a lot of people were saying, well, maybe he got the nomination because he passed away. But to be clear, I reached out to a real diehard fan, one of my friends, and he was saying how, no, this was one of Mac Miller's, if not the best album Mac Miller has produced. And this was before he passed away. Yeah. And he said that's why his death was even more upsetting. It was like because we just got some great music from him. So I just wanted to be clear on that, just to point that out.
Oh, absolutely.
But we also have to talk about Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually unbelievable. I mean, this is their first nomination in 17 years. Talk to us about it.
It's funny, everyone's saying Backstreet's back, but they really never left. You know, they went on a brief hiatus, I think 15 years ago, but they've been putting out music pretty regularly for the last 2 decades. They obviously have a very, very successful Las Vegas residency that's still going on. And they have a new album coming out next year called DNA, including the single Don't Go Breaking My Heart, which is nominated this year for Best Pop Duo Group Performance. I think they're definitely the underdogs in this category. The heavy favorites are Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, of course, from A Star Is Born. But I think Backstreet fans are just happy to have the recognition of this group, you know, back on the Recording Academy's radar, and maybe a nice way to kind of set things up for 2019, which is really going to be a big year for them.
Look, Backstreet fans are just glad that they used to have a boy band and now they got a man band. These guys have been doing it for a long time, and the only place Backstreet's back from is from Las Vegas. I'm glad to see him back in the limelight.
Tanner, I love it. Okay, so we have to talk about Kendrick, because he had a great year at the Grammys last year. He took home 4 awards. Is he going to sweep this year's awards show?
You know, it's a great question. Kendrick's had a really, I'd say, interesting history with the Grammys. He's won 12 so far. However, the Album of the Year has eluded him, even though he has nabbed 3 Album of the Year nominations in the past for Good Kid, Mad City, for To Pimp a Butterfly, and most recently for Damn last year, which lost out to Bruno Mars. With Black Panther, I think he has a really good shot, if not to sweep the categories, at the very least to win maybe one of the big categories that Kendrick has been gunning for so long. Black Panther has had this huge groundswell in 2018. It's been not just obviously a music moment, but a just pure pop culture moment across the spectrum. And I think Kendrick is, really situated to, win more awards this night than any of the other previous nights he's been involved with the Grammys. So I think all eyes are going to be on K-Dot going into the evening.
Oh, definitely agree with you. Thank you so much for being here, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.